This is 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm having to move around to avoid people. I just don't believe it. Anyway, although those houses there were some that were built in the late 60s, I'm not going to go any further that way, but that is St Anthony's Avenue, which was the end of civilization as Eastbourne knew it. Again, until the late 40s, before they started to redevelop Langney. I spoke about the shingle over the other side there. It was in the 1920s, there were 2 rather grisly murders over there. Interesting postscript. We used to have a regular passenger called Mr. Malt, who lived just along St Anthony's Avenue in a house called St Anthony's Grange. And, excuse me, one of the detectives investigating the murder, according to him, bought the house, St Anthony's Grange, because he fell in love with Eastbourne and decided to come and live here. And into the 70s and 80s, early 90s, when Mr. Malt lived there, he always used to insist that he was only the 3rd owner of that house. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it's an interesting connection. He was an eccentric character, ever such a lovely man, a chiropodist by trade, and I never ever saw a car on his driveway. Oh, I tell a lie, only once, and that was a Morris Minor 1000 Traveller, which belonged apparently to his son. He never wore shoes, only ever open-toed sandals, even in the middle of winter. Now, you see this groundworks on the road here and here. When they enlarged this roundabout in the 70s, the idea was that there would be a relief road built out here across the marshes, behind the houses, leading across the Lockbridge Drove, from where eventually a new road would be built linking up to the London Road. Well, the new road has been built, but it's way over there, and this road will never be built now, because as you can see, what was going to be a dual carriageway road is now actually a very pleasant walk along a footpath and cycle path, so that's it. No road. But you can see, just imagine yourself sitting here on a boat 800 years ago, thinking, where can I anchor, where can I land and sit and have a nice picnic? This is some of the very, very last natural water meadow left in the country, as I believe, and most of that's in Sussex anyway. Good morning, Mr. Cat. Very fierce look on that cat's face. Hedgerows and alive for the summer. Lovely, lovely yellow there, look. Now then, a mixture of white and pink blossom there, which I wish, considering my country background, I wish I was more of an expert on, but I do believe that is hawthorn and blackthorn. Somebody will tell me what, there's some more of those lovely pink flowers there, look. bull rush. Now, come onto this modern footbridge. Keep looking around me now. There's so many people about. Here's the other side of the Langney sewer. These trees have grown up over the last few years. They weren't there a little while ago. Too early to see ducklings, but you will do later. They rebuilt this Langney Bridge some years ago, and although that probably isn't the original bridge, I don't know if you can see, if I can get down far enough with this camera. I'll do my best. There it is. You can see the old keystone there. I hope you could see that. Not the original bridge, but that one built 1827, and that lasted until probably in the 1970s, 80s. And there, of course, is the high water mark, high water measurer. Yeah. I don't think I've seen it flood right the way up to the top, but now remember, this is 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It's been a week, and in that time the government has said, yes, you can go out, you can drive to somewhere. And I think we're seeing the results of that now. I'm very sad to say that I have a feeling people are going to start taking the mickey now. And what will happen now is they'll open up all the parks and everything else. You'll see the car parks full again. I don't want to stop anybody exercising, but the sad fact of life that you're always going to get people, whatever you say they can do, they want to push the boundaries and do more. Wood pigeon. song. Always more subdued when it's cloudy. If they try to tell us something. You'll notice, of course, because of our climate here, we are able to grow palm trees. Isn't that silly? And there, we'll go over there in a minute. Blackbird tree. And there's the horsey levels. Horse eye, call it what you want. Heading up, of course, to the other side of Eastbourne and the Downs. There's a sign there that says no public. That's alright. I'm not public, I'm private. Now, there is a rather excellent school near here. I'm biased because both my daughters went there, called West Rise. But the most recent headmaster is a great advocate of hands-on outdoor learning, and one of the things they've been doing is learning how life would have been lived in the ancient days, Bronze Age, Iron Age, that kind of thing, and how folk would have lived on the marshes. And I'm going to try and zoom in on this because they've recreated the kind of causeway across the waters that they would have built, and the round, barely call it a hut, that they would have lived in. I'm going to try and zoom in on it, but I have limitations with this. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's see if we can. Yes, I think I've got it. There it is, you see, where the old ancient cultures would have lived. They could easily defend that probably by knocking off part of the causeway, but that would have been on a raised level in the water. I'm not saying there would have been one exactly there, but that's a convenient place, and you often see in the summer the kids come marching down the road. And as I say, they come marching down the road and out across there. They do a lot of animal husbandry. They have goats, pigs, chickens, a few sheep, and a herd of 6 water buffalo, which graze out on the marshes over there. Occasionally one of them escapes, as one did a little while ago, and I opened my front door early one morning and there was a water buffalo just strolling past in the middle of the road, as one does. Well, I say there's two places along this road where the land obviously was sufficiently strong enough to hold some houses. So there's that little development, tiny little development there, and another one further up opposite the school, but we're not going that far this morning. Lovely blossom on the trees here, look. Glad to say they've never built that land over there, but behind those trees there are football pitches and further up a recreation ground, and there is a lake. I'm not sure that I really want to go down to the lake because I have a feeling that if I do, then the world and his wife is going to be down there. Football pitches don't look much like football pitches at the moment, do it? Anyway. Taking a walk on the wild side. Not now if you look at that lot. Alright. Bit lighter now, so I guess the birds have had a lie in. Getting very noisy here. And can't avoid it, even in the early morning. The smell of the oil from the fish and chip shop. He's going that way. Believe it or not, I've never been in this entrance before. you going that way? I'll move over here for you then. It's busy out this morning.
Yeah.
What did I say about the dog walkers? As soon as you get over here, instead of chip oil, it's that lovely scent that everybody likes to wear. Dogweed. And Cape Hartley. Why do people have to do things like that? A simple thing as something to lean your bike on. You know what? No wonder I haven't heard the shouting and the cheers on a Sunday morning for a long time. They took everything away. That's not football pitches anymore. That's just been left. Another one of them things which I don't wish to be political, but the austerity of the last 10 years probably meant the local council couldn't afford to give a subsidy to the people running it anymore. Good morning, Mr. Woody. How are you today? All the birds telling me to clear off. They still have the children's playground over there, look, with their bits and pieces. So that's something. I remember bringing Russell and Harry down here many years ago, I think it was. If not Russell and Harry, it was one or other of them. Well, it has to be really, because there's only the two. And played basketball for a little bit. Well, here is the lake, but for the moment, because of this virus, there is currently no public access. So this is as far as I can go today. Actually, because of that, there's nobody down here hardly. Normally I'd go down and we could... Oh, alright. No wonder there's no public access. I'm going to be very quiet here, because down there is a swan's nest. You can see that? I really don't want to get any closer, because I don't want to disturb them. But there. And now I'm going to move away. That's why there's no public access. But I am going to zoom, if I can, over to the far side. I hope it stays in focus. Very difficult to judge this. You'll see there's swans on the other side as well. What I'm not seeing although we might see here is the Canada geese. Anyway, there we are, and behind it Hampden Park, and although it doesn't look much of an island nowadays, you've got to remember that a lot of that land over there has now been filled in to make it more level, but that was the old Langney, or hidden eye of water, or eye in the water. Anyway, we'll leave the swans in privacy. Oh, I'm glad I came over. Well, here we are. The sun's beginning to poke through, and picnic tables are there, and they're ready when everything, well, I think any thinking person would already know life is never going to get back to what we knew as normal. And there is going to be a horrendous cost. All these people working from home, and they found it easy to do. Most of those are jobs that probably won't go back to the office. Maybe it's brought the future here 10, 15 years ahead of when it would have arrived, I don't know. But you translate that to all these extra people working from home, less need for public transport. So in a way the railway companies have had their prayers answered, because it will stop the overcrowding. But on the other hand, less trains, less drivers, less guards, less staff. The only thing that I really hope for after this, and I really do, is that lessons will be learnt about the dependency on one or two other countries to provide most of the things that you use, simply because they, what's the word I'm looking for, exploit cheap labour. We've got to get out of that habit, and we've got to start bringing manufacturing back to this country. Indeed, a lot of countries should be looking at that now and thinking, no, we've given too much away over the years, we've got to bring some back. Try and keep a balance. It's fair to do trade with other countries, but maybe not with countries who steal your technology as soon as you hand it over for production. You know, that's just not on. So I'm not going to see it in my lifetime, I suppose, but I hope it happens for the young people that I and people of my generation will leave behind. So there you are. I don't need to bore you with writing a talk today now, do I? I've just said it. So here we are. We're on the Shine water levels, barely above what would have been sea level 700 or 800 years ago. And I will end that here with the sun just coming out, and we are so close to the houses, and yet it's nice, it's peaceful, and I'm glad I come down here this morning. As to where I'll go for my next walk, I don't know. I have an idea in mind. It will probably involve a drive. I'll think about it. But if I don't do any more, at least you've all seen some things which you either might not have realised have been there. From the American family, you've seen, particularly Dwayne and Lisa, you've seen a bit more than you might have done when you were over here. So I don't think it's been a wasted exercise, and I hope you've enjoyed what I've done so far, even if I don't do any more. Bye bye.